Hello everyone, it's Jen from Old Tinkerer Studio. In this tutorial, we will be making a procedural tile texture in Blender. So let's get on with the tutorial. Delete the default cube and add a plane. Under the shading workspace, add a new texture and name it tile. Add a brick texture node. Connect the brick texture color output to the BSDF base color input. Now let's look at the options for the brick texture node. The offset option determines the brick offset of the various rows. If you want a tile that is not offset, change the option on the brick texture node to 0. The frequency option determines the offset frequency. So if we change the frequency to 4, notice how the offset changes on the brick pattern. I'm going to leave my frequency at 2. Squash determines the amount of brick squashing. So if we change our squash to 3, notice how every column has rows that are now 3 bricks across. I'm going to leave my squash at 1. Frequency determines the frequency of the squashing. So if we change the frequency to 4, and we change the squash back to 3, notice that it is now every 4th row that is affected. I change my frequency back to 1, my squash back to 1, and my frequency back to 2. Color 1 is the first color of the bricks. So if we change the color to a blue, I'm going to use the hex code of 75DEE7. Notice how some of the bricks turn blue. Color 2 is the second color of the bricks. So if we change this color to a green, and I'm using the hex code 3C8160, the other bricks are now green color. The mortar color is the color of the mortar between the bricks. So if we change the mortar color to white, which is a hex code of all Fs, the mortar between the bricks turns white. The scale option allows you to change the overall texture scale. So if we change it to 10, notice how the bricks become smaller. The mortar size determines the size of the mortar between the bricks. So if we change the mortar size to 0.01, notice that the mortar is now thinner. The mortar smooth blurs the edges between the mortar and the bricks. So if we change this to 2, we see that the mortar is blurry and not as sharp. I'm going to keep mine at 0.75. The bias determines the variation between the colors. A value of -1 will only use the first color, and a value of 1 will only use the second color. Any value in between -1 and 1 will mix the colors. I'm going to leave mine at 0. You can also change the brick width and the row height. I'm going to change mine both to 0.5, which will give me square bricks. Now if we want more than 2 colors, we can use a color ramp. So add a color ramp and place it between the brick texture and the BSDF node. Click on the black color stop, click on the color picker, and change the black to your first color by using the color picker icon. And click on the white color stop, click on the color picker, and change the white to the second color using the color picker icon. Then click on the plus symbol to add a third color stop. Then click on this new color stop and choose another color. I'm using the hex code of 1A3231. You can add as many colors as you want and use the color stops to change the positions for more variation. We can add some height to the tiles. So add a bump map node. Then connect the color output from the brick texture node to the height input of the bump node. Then connect the normal output from the bump node to the normal input of the BSDF shader. And you can change the strength of the bump node to get your desired look. I'm going to keep mine at 1. If you want to add some roughness and texture to the tiles, we can add a noise node. In order to add the noise texture to the bump map, we also need to add a mix RGB node. Connect the color output from the brick texture to the color 1 input of the mixed RGB node. Then connect the color output of the noise texture to the color 2 input of the mixed RGB node. Then connect the color output of the mixed RGB node to the height input of the bump node. We can now see some noise on the tiles. Now connect the color output of the mixed RGB node to the roughness input of the BSDF shader. Then change the scale and the detail of the noise texture. I'm going to change my scale to 0.5 and the detail to 16. You make these changes until you have your desired look. Now you can change the factor on the mix RGB node until you have the desired influence of the output image. I'm going to change mine to 0.75. If you want a glossy look, unhook the mix RGB node from the BSDF node and turn down the roughness. I'm going to turn mine down to 0.35. If you're interested in learning more about 3D art and animation, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.